In the afternoon games, we have what we think is an underrated matchup with the Houston Texans traveling to SoFi Stadium for the first time to face the LA Rams. And if you go back and watch the division round playoffs, these two teams were likely two of the better teams in their respective conferences that nobody talks about. What the Rams did at Philadelphia, they played the tightest game with the Eagles in their unbelievable playoff run. And the Texans really played the Chiefs tight. Really some questionable calls cost them. So we think this is a great matchup. These are two valid Super Bowl contenders. So we're going to take a look at a couple key matchups here. Look at some personnel matchups and then talk about which system we think is going to be best. Going to give you a couple of picks on the total side and also a straight up pick. So let us know in the comments what you think. Are we on, maybe off base a little bit? Again, we are Texans fans. There might be a little bit of bias here. But let's take a look at this LA Rams offense versus the Texans defense matchup. We have some concerns. If you're a Rams fan, how healthy is Matthew Stafford's back? We know if he's healthy, he's going to be able to do some damage with the receivers, Puka Nacua and Davante Adams. Of course, this will be their first game playing together. We're not sure they're going to click right away. But on the defensive side, we think Lassiter should be able to slow down Puka Nacua just a little bit. And on the flip side, we look at what Derek Stingley, we think he's the top 5 cornerback, if not higher, can be able to limit Davante Adams. So we think that's a really good matchup for the Texans secondary. We also have identified the new safety, CJ Gardner-Johnson. We are assuming he's playing this. CJ pairs with Jalen Petrie, another ball hawk. He will either play nickel cornerback or safety. That's a great duo. But again, what Stingley can do, you're not going to totally stop Matthew Stafford. We know that. But if they can limit him a little bit, force him into some bad throws. We also like the Texans pass rush. You got Will Anderson on the one side. You got Danielle Hunter on the other. That's a nice bookend defensive ends. Should be able to give Matthew Stafford some grief. Again, maybe rush some throws, generate some bad throws, possibly some interceptions. So, and then let's flip it on the other side. Let's look at the Texans offense versus the Rams defense. We think the key component here is going to be Nick Chubb. We think adding Nick Chubb is one of the most underrated signings in the offseason. What you're going to be able to do there is take some of the pressure off CJ Stroud, kind of behind an offensive line that's a little bit unproven, has great receivers, but we think they're going to lean on Nick Chubb a lot more to maybe slow down, keep the Rams offense on the sidelines, and we think of make CJ Stroud not have to win the games by himself. But if you run the ball a lot with Chubb, then you can do some play action, maybe get some deep balls down the field. So we think you want to avoid this pass rush, keep them off balance a little bit, and then you should have the advantage. So we think what the Texans will likely do is, again, try to slow down the pace of the game, have Chubb go, ball control offense, and then look to go to CJ for some deep balls down the field when you have the defense selling out for the run. And the Rams are definitely vulnerable in the secondary, but we think that'll be the strategy for DeMeco Ryans and this offense. So we think for the game pick, we're looking at a slower pace game than most people might think. We think we like the Texans here. We think that defense is going to be the difference. We think you get that number up to 3. And then again, if you can get the total's number 45, that protects you against the 24 to 21 combination. Get the under on that one because we think the defense is going to make the difference in this game.
That's all for this time. Thank you for joining. Please subscribe to our channel, and we look forward to sharing our future videos with you.